Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into the MSCA Quicker State Late Model Series. It's feature time here at Beaver Dam Raceway, so let's get right into your starting lineups. Your front row is going to be Lucas Tran and TJ Hanley. Second row, Roy Bruce and Matthew Brown. Third row, Callum Wood and Chris Dodd. Fourth row, Jake Rogers and Nick Pericles. Fifth row, Joshua Jones and Mike Serra. Sixth row is Brock McMahon and Cody Smart. Seventh row, Patrick Curtis and Eric Hayden. Eighth row is going to be Henrietta Fitzwater and Dejan Weeks, and our last row is Alex Tanker and Kyle Maxwell. That's going to be your lineup here for the feature event. So let's get right on into the racing here at Beaver Dam. Alright, here we go. Green flag is in the air. We are underway here at Beaver Dam for the feature event. Lucas Tran takes that inside line. TJ Hanley on his outside. 808 of Roy Bruce behind them. Looks like he's going to get to the underside of the 08 car of TJ Hanley while Lucas Tran pulls away. The rest of the field kind of jockeys for position behind him. Looks like the 224 car of Callum Wood is going to try to get under the 808 car of TJ Hanley, and he's going to do it coming into turn 3. We're going to give you a rear end view of the number 4 car. This is coming off the back end. There are some in-car cameras here for the feature event. This is always going to be on the feature event, not really for the LCS or the heat races because there's just not enough time within the whole race. This is a 40-lap event, so it's probably going to be easier to get some rear end camera views and some hood views of these race cars. You can see Lucas Tran actually pulling away from the 808 car. He had a decent feature. He finished 4th he had a decent heat race. He finished 4th in the heat race. He qualified on the pole for both the feature and his heat race, so it's got to show something in the way of qualifying, especially for this 4 car. Not so much DW Motorsports in general, because right now one of their cars is not even in the feature event, and Dejan Weeks is pretty much sitting in the back of the field. Going to cut off to Patrick Curtis here. Patrick finished 1st in the LCS. Didn't do too bad in I believe his heat race, or he did absolutely terrible. I'm not sure which one, but being born in Germany, moving here to the United States when he was 2 years old, got into racing, and is here racing here at Beaver Dam in Wisconsin. So you gotta figure why those DV stickers are shown all over his car. And the 21E car continuing to actually kind of impress us with that with his performance. Not too well in the heat race, and but overall fairly well. Dejan Weeks in the 21 car not doing all that well. He barely made it in from the LCS, finishing in 6th, and has just not had the best night tonight. 2 cars that we expected to actually see are right in front of him, the 24Y and the 62V, both making it in through their heat races. Dejan not having the best night, especially for his team, only with one car who's still leading the race, Lucas Tran, in the 4 car. And him in the 21 not doing too well. Bob Schulke in the 334 is completely out of the race. Heading back to Lucas Tran, he's just kind of separated himself from pretty much everyone except for the 808 of Roy Bruce. Roy Bruce running that Lucas Oil scheme. A bunch of logos on that car, as that's how kind of he wanted to design it. A very good... Oh, and it looks like the 808 car of Roy Bruce trying to make it into the bottom side, but he just doesn't look to be able to hold the bottom line like a lot of drivers trying to get into there, and he almost gets to the bottom quarter panel of the 4 car of Lucas Tran. Doesn't do it. Looks like Tran's just running a better high line than Bruce is running a low line, and it just seems like this is gotten more to kind of a single file race. Not much passing being allowed as Lucas Tran starts to pull away from the 808 a little bit, and the 808 looks to be kind of reeling him back in. It's just kind of been cat and mouse throughout a lot of this race as Lucas Tran leads the halfway point, and we're on lap 21, going to go into lap 22. So Lucas Tran already leading more than half the laps. He's going to earn 1 bonus point from that, as well as earning a bonus point for leading the race. Now, if he doesn't win the race, it still means he will probably have the most points. Henrietta Fitzwater, the number 43 car, we didn't really notice how bad she was doing compared to her heat race. She actually won on her heat race, which is why she's in the feature event. And she just qualified in the back, or drew in the back as they do a redraw. They have to draw for their position, their starting position, and Henrietta Fitzwater just not having the best night, finishing first in her heat race, but right now is just not doing well at all. Drew in the back row and looks to be losing a little bit of ground because, and I feel a lot of this is due to the fact that she won the first heat race, probably didn't do a lot to the car to maybe set it up for what this track is going to be like in the feature event, because that's the thing, the track does change a lot compared to when you're in the first heat and the feature event. So really the first heat driver's not doing the very best that they could be doing. You can see TJ Hanley has fallen all the way to the back of the pack from starting in second. He drew that number 2. But he was also one of those drivers who raced in the first heat. So the first heat is really not going to be good for those drivers who don't know what the track is going to be like. The track changes pretty much every lap. The track starts to lose a little bit of dirt. There seems to be a little bit more of a cushion on the high side towards the end of the race, and that's really kind of what's happened to those two cars, is that they just did not prepare themselves for how the track is going to be later in the night. So they're stuck at the back of the field, and Fitzwater is actually losing a lot of positions compared to when she was leading the race. So not a good night for Fitzwater. Jake Rogers, a driver who actually did do very well in his heat race. He ended up making it in through the heat race and is the only Gabriel Wanderley racing car, besides his team owner of Gabriel Wanderley, actually in the feature event, the 98 car of Jake Rogers. Running a very good race so far, currently in third. Behind him is the 224 of Callum Wood, but those top 3 have kind of pulled themselves away from pretty much the rest of the field, who's kind of just been strung out. The 224 car of Callum Wood is actually in third at the start of the race, but got passed by Jake Rogers at some point during when we were kind of pointing out some of the other drivers in the race. But Jake has had a very good night tonight. He's finished very well in all the races that he has been in, and so I look to see some more from Jake Rogers as the season progresses. We may not know what's in store for us in the next few races, but coming down the last few laps, lap 38, they come down, green flag waving, signaling 2 laps to go. Roy Bruce still trailing the 4 car. It's just been a one car race as Lucas Tran has continued to hold the lead. White flag is waving as they come around turn 4 this time. Lucas Tran looking to hold off the 808's charge that he's just been trying to continue up, and the 808's not going to be able to catch him. Coming around turn 4, Lucas Tran is going to win the first Quaker State Late Model feature event here at Beaver Dam Raceway. And what a good race he ran. Here he is coming around to Victory Lane, which is located directly in the middle of the racetrack. Lucas Tran obviously has got to be one happy driver as he finishes in the top spot here at Beaver Dam Raceway. Here's your race results. Lucas Tran in first, Roy Bruce second, Jake Rogers third, Callum Wood finishes fourth, Patrick Curtis finishes rounding it out the top 5 in fifth, Nick Pericles finishes in sixth. Good run for him. Matthew Brown 7th, Chris Dodd 8th, Cody Smart 9th, and Eric Hayden in 10th. Better run from where he was at. Brock McMahon 11th, 12th is Dejon Weeks, 13th Alex Tanker, Joshua Jones 14th, 15th Mike Serra, TJ Hanley 16th, Kyle Matthews 17th, and Henrietta Fitzwater, bad day for her, in last. Now the point standings are basically the same as the lineup, only a few differences. Lucas Tran gains 2 bonus points, and Patrick Curtis gains a bonus point, making his point score 27th. Zachary Fitzwater and Kyle Collins gained 12 points and 11 points for finishing top of the cars that did not make the feature event. And here's the rest of your field: Sam Rogers, Daniel Maxwell, Jack Corkin, Tanya Breyer, Carson Scott, Gabriel Wanderley, Ferdinand Gabot, Bob Schotke, Eric Lewis, and JT Hanley, with a problem in the LCS, does not finish that race. Thank you guys for tuning in to the first ever MSCA Quaker State Late Model Series event here at the Beaver Dam Raceway. This is Rick Witt signing out, and we will see you next time at Dodge County, another third mile racetrack. So I'll see you guys next race. Goodbye.